The devil came to Florida. The heat was on the street. It was a gothic Everglades kind of day, with sweaty asphalt shimmering and the palm trees drooping under the sun. You could almost feel the supernatural undertone as a mysterious man in a black suit walked down that blazing hot road, the air thick with an orange haze. He had a silver tongue to cover up the sulfur in the heat. When he spoke, you could see his tongue glinting like polished metal, a faint wisp of smoke curling from his mouth in the humid golden light. He wore a suit of promises and shoes of polished hide. The suit itself was a shimmering satin black, but if you looked close, you could see faint, glowing words woven into the fabric. His shoes, made of gleaming crocodile leather, tapped a sinister rhythm on the pavement. He eventually found his way into a rustic Florida bar, the kind with flickering neon signs and a permanent smell of stale beer. And he sat down next to Forces with a grin he couldn't hide. The tension in the air was thick enough to cut with a knife a devil with his sly, knowing smile. And Forces, a musician, calm but on high alert. Devil leaned in, whispering through a cloud of cigarette smoke. He said, "I don't want your soul, kid. That's a heavy price to pay. Just warp a little truth and we can go our separate way." As he spoke those words, his lips curled, and for a second, the very air behind him seemed to waver and distort, shimmering like surreal heat haze. He pointed to the pulpits where the hired men had sold their faith. In a dark, dramatic church interior, shadowy preachers stood behind glowing pulpits, exchanging gold coins with sinister glee. He boasted, he trained 1,000 pastors, warped the word and call it gold. It was a horrifying vision. Countless identical pastors, formed from light, watching as their Bibles turned into golden dust. He told them to trade the word for comfort, trade the light for easy breath. I saw lavish halls built on a foundation of burning scripture pages, a warm, soft glow slowly fading into shadow. "Bow to foreign kings and crowns," he whispered. "Call my lord a myth instead." Silhouettes of entire crowds knelt before towering, golden crowns as the light of truth grew dim. He preached, "The wide way's where you're livin'. Say the narrow road is death." It was a split screen of the soul. A wide, crowded highway filled with neon lights and revelers, set against a narrow, glowing path walked in solitude through the darkness. His eyes were glowing embers, and his grin was stretching wide, his face flickering like hot coals burning just beneath the skin. But Forces, one of Jesus' saints, saw through the serpent's lies. In a moment of defiance, Forces' eyes reflected the light, a faint halo visible as the serpent imagery dissolved around him, and so the duel began. He played for gold. I played for light. Imagine it. Forces holding a glowing instrument, bathed in pure white light, standing opposite the devil who was drenched in a greedy golden hue, his own gilded violin radiating a thunderous dark energy. One bends the knee, one stands to fight. A powerful contrast, the devil kneeling in darkness, clutching at his gold, while Forces stood tall and proud in radiant divine light. Forces won't kneel to a numbered word. Digital code, streams of binary numbers, shattered harmlessly against the pages of a shining open book, its text glowing with unshakable truth. The Lamb is king, you don't warp the word. In a triumphant blaze of sunrise, a radiant lamb appeared, and the devil retreated back into the shadows. Forces struck the heavy string and felt the trumpet sound. In epic slow motion, he strummed a single mighty note, unleashing waves of light and sound that blasted through the air like a holy trumpet. The truth began to tremble, and it shook the unholy ground. The very earth cracking and splitting with radiant energy around the devil's feet as dark smoke recoiled. This wasn't a sound made of polished brass, but thunder in the soul. For a moment, you could see lightning pulsing inside Force's chest, a symbol of divine courage. It was a story no devil's hand could twist or take control. Mystical, glowing words floated in the air, and when a shadowy hand reached out to grasp them, it disintegrated on contact. No bargain was accepted, and no line was ever blurred. The contract they'd discussed burst into holy fire, drawing a clear, undeniable line between light and shadow. The morning star is shining. Yeah, you don't warp the word. As dawn broke over the horizon, the devil faded completely, leaving Forces standing tall with his guitar, victorious in the heavenly light. The strings began to whistle, and the floorboards started groaning. The old wooden stage shook as the music intensified, surging with spiritual energy. The devil lost his rhythm, and he started in his moaning, stumbling backward as the light from the music overwhelmed him, his face a mask of anguish and fury. He dropped his book of shadows and he backed into the dark. The book fell open, its black pages turning to smoke as the shadows finally consumed him. 'Cause you can't twist the fire when the truth provides the spark. The smoldering darkness erupted into a pure, white-hot flame, and he was gone. The false lights faded as the bargain hit the floor. The dim neon lights of the bar flickered out one by one, and a single piece of paper drifted to the ground as a soft, golden dawn returned. The lamb stood naked truth. We didn't need no more. A peaceful, reverent image of a shining lamb appeared, surrounded by calm, clearing skies, the symbol of final, absolute truth. The morning star is shining. The sun rose fully over the Florida swamp, its brilliant light filling the scene with victory and redemption. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.